Sleepers Podcast. It is Monday, July 14th. Deion is with me today. That boy D Hill. We're like 3 weeks removed from working together on the channel. Deion, feels good to see you again, my friend. How you been?
I've been good, man. We need to not go another 3 weeks without working together.
I agree with that. It feels like that should be a relatively easy thing for us to organize, but then again, we're bad at organizing.
We are the only people that organize our own schedule and then complain about the schedule.
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, can we blame Jacob for this, or is there somebody else that we should be blaming for the schedules we make?
Cart?
We could blame Cart. Yeah. What do you think
Well,
Cart's doing right now?
I actually think I know. He's been pretty active in the soccer group chat we're in this morning, so I think he's monitoring the transfer window for the EPL.
Got it. Out of respect for the group chat that I disrespected last time, I'm not going to comment.
It was fun though. Little news. We talked about it off camera. I got promoted at work in in between time since we last recorded together.
Wow, congratulations. Everybody wish Deion congratulations. Please give him a round of applause. Actually stand up from wherever you're sitting listening to this right now and please applaud loudly for him. Does that put me on the hot seat? Because I will say, like, I'm very happy for you as a friend, and personally, this is great. But I also technically am an employer of yours. So, like, now I feel threatened that I haven't promoted you when you just got another promotion. Like, I feel like I need to promote you.
Well, technically, you guys told me I'm in charge of HR. So I think I would have to promote myself technically. Like I would have to approve the promotion for me. So it's really my fault.
Which honestly, you did kind of try to do a couple weeks ago.
I did. I tried to take everything over.
Yeah,
Like,
so we're working through that a little bit. But when we were in New York, I did get one phone call from Deion that was basically like, "Hey, I'm just gonna run this now." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine."
Yeah, we were doing the draft stuff. I said, I think I'm just gonna make sure this happens.
Worked out, and you did, and here we are. Look at us now. Well, congratulations, my friend. That's exciting. I was gonna offer if you do need a sleepers-based promotion, we could promote you to the role of Cart.
I like that. Or what if I was in charge of JK for a week?
Well, you've been in charge of Guy for like over a year now, right?
Yeah. And that's going poorly, I feel like.
So I was going to ask you, do you think that's going well? I feel like on a personal note, it is going well, but on a professional note, I haven't heard from Guy and he hasn't contributed to Sleepers in a full year.
So I think Guy and I are doing great. Guy and I have never been better. I think the problem is Guy and everybody else might be at an all-time low. A lot of crazy Discord stuff. Him and I worked that out though. And now we're at the point where he's like trying to bait me into doing a pancake challenge with him. And now he wanted me to come to LA for it. I said, Guy, I'm not coming to LA to eat pancakes with you. He now wants to come to Sacramento to do it, which is probably okay. Like I probably would be okay with that. It's just I think he's playing a mind game with me that I can't wrap my head around, and I'm letting him win it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Guy is prone to mind games as part of what attracted us to Guy in the first place. So, Guy, by the way, look at you two, you and your little mentee making professional advancements. Guy accepted to Syracuse, so he'll be attending Syracuse for his secondary education.
Guy and I have discussed, when the fraternities do frat row, you get to choose your fraternity.
Yeah.
I'm going to purchase him a table and sleeper stuff, and people will subscribe to the channel, and he'll just sit in the middle of it. And I told him if he gets 1,000 subscribers for us, I'll fly to Syracuse for a weekend.
That would be fun. That would be really fun. I do feel like this ends with me in the Carrier Dome with Guy at some point. I don't know what for, but I feel like at some point it's got to happen.
Should we go
all
to
right.
graduation?
We could honestly, that would be cool. It would be fun to pull up to Guy's graduation, I think.
No shot cart comes with us.
But as a bit, I think we should not talk to Guy for 4 years until his graduation.
I don't think he should know we're there. It's just like his name gets called. We cheer loudly. We maybe say something to him on campus if we happen to see him.
Like we stop replying to his texts. We don't even like he cannot contact us for 4 years, no trace whatsoever. And then just the day he graduates, we're just there taking a picture, like congrats, guy, without even reaching out to him.
That would be so special. I honestly think Guy would love that too.
I think guy would be like, "You guys are the best, man." He'd send us another jersey. Guy used to buy us birthday presents. I
Guy
miss
bought
that.
y'all birthday presents?
Yeah, honestly, the cutest thing ever. Guy was a junior in high school sending Carter and I birthday presents, like feeling really guilty that he missed our birthday by like a couple hours. It was awesome.
Okay, hot seat Guy. He didn't get me a birthday present. He asked me how to ask Cart for money to buy somebody else a birthday present, though.
Yeah, I think that's just him growing up though. Because 17-year-old guy was like really thoughtful, cute to like his guy friends. And then 18-year-old guy discovered girls. And now yeah, he needs money for other things.
I love Guy talking about his girlfriend. I can't dox her. He told me not to. Special, special relationship, though.
Guy is he's giving me a nice little I think preview of what parenthood it will be like for a high schooler. Like this, I can only imagine what Banks will be like when he turns 18, you know?
Menace. But
Yeah.
I think he's going to be special, though. Like, I've been in Team Banks from the jump. I think you're developing a professional athlete.
So he started smiling at me this week for the first time. He's been smiling at Mal for 2.5 months and just started smiling. I got two separate smiles this week. The problem is, again, it's tactical. Both of his smiles were immediately followed by destructive cutthroat behavior. Like he basically like got me to I don't he pulled Murphy's hair right after smiling at me and I was just like, dude, what are you doing? And then the other one, explosive diarrhea blowout, needed a new outfit. So I really, truly, this kid has not even enjoyed my presence for 1 second, other than trying to set me up to do something evil right after. It's pretty terrifying.
I think that's special. Like, that's pretty much him. Like, yo, I'm gonna lull you to sleep. Step back. Hee hee. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to be a special athlete.
He's a big hee hee guy, I can promise that. But all right, let's get to the program. Are you taking the cart comment role here?
Yeah, I have no idea where he ended the Discord comments, but YouTube comment, Josh Weger said this on Riley Friday. He called you guys the Triumvirate. I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but that nickname's kind of fire.
Triumvirate is the word.
Yeah, that's kind of fire.
You like the word triumvirate? You think that's a good nickname?
Yeah, I think I will say this. I think it's really cool when you guys don't do the Riley Friday with the three of you guys, because as someone that like listens to the show all the time, when we get you three, it feels even better.
Yeah, I will say I think that's been a nice consolation to the updated schedules that don't give us Riley Friday every week. We do it like 2 times a month usually now, and there's definitely a little bit of an uptick in energy when the three of us are on an episode. So honestly, shout out to Riley because I think you know this from doing this with us too. It can be hard to make three-person episodes actually enjoyable. Like there's just a lot to go around. It's a much easier dynamic with just two people on these videos. And Cart and I are a lot to handle. And I think Riley's probably the only person on earth that like is different enough from us, but also like meshes well enough with us to make it work, you know?
Yeah, I kind of just sit there and let you guys go back and forth when it's the three-person show with the three of us. So I think Riley definitely does a better job of it than me.
But even like I don't know, like Riley also lets us get our moment off, but just he picks his spots and then he just hits us with like religious things, and it totally disarms Cart and I at all times. It's kind of a fun dynamic. I digress. Let's go to the Discord. Join the Discord if you want or don't. Doesn't matter. For the free. That's what we do. We start today with Sleeve, who said one guy I said I'm completely out on is Eric Ryby. I know you guys love him, but I just don't see it. I think he's soft. He's out of position a lot, late to contest shots. I don't trust him offensively. I think he's going to struggle with foul trouble and be pretty inefficient overall. Your thoughts?
As a freshman, I definitely agree. I think he'll develop into something else, but I agree as a freshman.
Riley agrees that he is not good. And Riley responded and said, I think Ryby is stinky and tried to spell it like Ryby. So we got to work with Riley on that. But yeah, I don't know. I can see the soft allegations. I think he just grew too fast. But I think he has good timing as a shot blocker and he's skilled. And to be honest, he's competing with Terrace Reed. It's
Yeah.
not that hard to just beat the better center here. Just Snacky says, does Ade Mara have better playmaking chops than Merez?
Yes, but also as a Merez guy, no comment.
So this is supposed to be a joke from Just Snacky, but I'm going to answer it genuinely because that's my only way I've decided I can go back and forth with Illinois fans is to act like they're being completely serious about all of this. Yeah, Ade Mara is an elite passer for a 7'3" human. That's the whole sell of Ade Mara. He's a great passer, an incredible one. So you're right. Ade will probably be used as a guard a little bit at Michigan, while Merez will be finishing plays, and we'll see how it works. Monovich says Bronny or Braden.
Braden. Oh, wait. You mean that at the NBA level or just in general?
Who's a better basketball player, Bronny James
Braden's,
or Braden Smith?
Braden's a better basketball player.
He is, isn't he? Like if you put Bronny on Purdue, he's not the National Player of the Year.
No, but if you put Braden on the Lakers, I don't think he plays either, though. It's a weird dynamic.
See, I think Braden will be great in summer league though, whenever the time comes.
Much better summer league player than Bronny will ever be. And honestly, I think he will develop into a much better NBA player. The vision of Bronny in the NBA feels easier, though.
Yeah, true. That's fair. All right, final comment today. Not too many comments for Monday. Warchant says Mara versus Merez practice video is like Merez versus Big T practice video. Big T is nothing on defense, so not surprising. Merez has potential on defense, but it's still potential, not performance yet. All that said, I wanted to go comment. We talking about practice, not a game, not a game. The AI quote. Did you? We did a video on this, so you did see this. Ade Mara was abusing Merez for 31 seconds on Michigan's Twitter account. Your thoughts?
I think Illinois fans are going to take this as a "we told you so." Fair, I guess. I think the outlook of it really should be, "Wow, Michigan is good."
Yeah, I think Illinois fans have lost the plot a little bit on all of this because when Merez left, what y'all told me was, well, we got blindsided. We wanted Merez. We promised him everything. We told him all these things too, and he deserted us. And now you're saying, I told you so. So what did you tell me, Illinois fan? Did you tell me Merez was bad? Did you say he was a defensive liability? Or did you want him starting? Which one is it? Because if you thought he was bad, that would be why he's at Michigan now. And if you thought he was good, then you shouldn't be victory lapping saying, I told you so. You guys just have lost the plot. You're just angry. I get it. I think it was an interesting move for them to post the Mara clips at Merez's expense. I think there's disaster potential here for sure, but I want to make it very clear. I'll take the Team USA starter who's been dominating for a month over the guy who looked good in 30 seconds of practice footage.
Facts, facts.
Where I'm
But
at.
it's a worthwhile risk. Yeah, there's a disaster factor, but there's also that boom factor too, and that's what it means to win a national championship, right? National championship or bust.
Yeah, we're gonna get a good sense of how capable Dusty May is at managing egos this year. That's for sure. That's the comment section. Thank you to the Discord for the comments. Join the Discord if you want or don't. Doesn't matter. It's for free. Okay, to the sponsors. We have two, plural, correct, even though for the free, but sponsors. First sponsor, NBA 2K Lab. Shout out to 2K Lab. College Football 26 is here. I think Deion's going to start doing some streaming stuff for us. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, we're gonna start streaming college football 26. I play 2K every night too, so I'll probably stream a little 2K. Hopefully, as we get into the season, maybe we can do like some watch-alongs and everything. But I think we're thinking of a schedule of something like streaming almost every day between the whole group. But I'm definitely gonna be streaming probably a little bit more because I play video games all the time.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited. I think it's something that would satisfy people's asks of us throughout the years where people have wanted us to do live content and we've mostly said no. Well, this would be a way for us to potentially do it, grow an audience, and have some creative ways to do it. So, anyways, if you are interested in us streaming or just in College Football 26 or other video games in general, obviously NBA 2K, 2K Lab is the place to be. NBA2KLab.com has a bunch of great content that will make your sports video gaming experience even better. They've got mini games that you will greatly enjoy. Go check it out. Our second sponsor today, and the sponsor of all of our full episodes, is none other than LabCorp. Today's video is presented by LabCorp. Let's hear a word from them. Today's video is sponsored by LabCorp On Demand. Car, be honest with me, my friend. Have you ever had your testosterone levels checked?
No, I always figured I didn't need to unless something felt seriously wrong.
Well, that's the thing. Low testosterone doesn't always hit you like a truck. It creeps up on you through things like low energy, brain fog, irritability, trouble sleeping, weight gain, and even low libido. And I know you struggle with most of those things, but most guys just chalk that up to stress or getting older.
So you're saying it's actually possible something's off and we just don't know it?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And that's why I love what today's video sponsor, LabCorp On Demand, is doing. With their men's health tests, you can get a comprehensive look at your hormone levels, including total testosterone, without even going to the doctor. All you have to do is purchase your test, provide a sample at a LabCorp service center, and your sample will be collected using the same methods as your doctor. No need to even prick your own finger.
Wait. So there's no doctor's appointments at all.
No, you can purchase the test directly from LabCorp On Demand. Plus, testing is performed at LabCorp's CAP accredited CLIA certified clinical laboratories, the same kind used by doctors, processing about 3 million samples every week. That way, you know you're getting real, accurate results.
So that's all good and well, but how fast do the results actually come in?
As early as the next day, you'll get an email when they're ready, and you can view them online through your LabCorp patient account. The results are super easy to read. And if something requires urgent attention, LabCorp may even contact you by phone.
Man, I didn't even realize how much testosterone levels can affect stuff like mood, focus, and energy. And no one really talks about it unless it's extreme.
I know, but even subtle changes can impact your day to day life. And getting tested now can help you catch issues before they become bigger problems, especially if you're in your 30s or 40s and starting to feel off.
Man. So if someone who's been feeling more tired than usual or just not quite themselves, this could be the check-in that you need.
Definitely. And right now, you can get 20% off your men's health test by visiting our sponsor at tryelco.com/sleepersmedia. It's simple, affordable, and honestly, kind of empowering to have this info about your body.
Take the guesswork out of your health and go check it out.
Let's talk March Madness expansion. So this has been raging all week. This has greatly annoyed me on the timeline, but I see why people are so passionate about this. You don't want to fix a good thing. March Madness is the best thing on earth, in my opinion. But Seth Davis has been trying to get people to believe that expansion doesn't matter. It'll be good for the sport in the long run. And it seems imminent at this point that the NCAA selection committee is going to expand the tournament one day. However, they met at the end of last week, and the meeting apparently adjourned without a resolution to this. They just did not have the conversation about expansion, even though they were supposed to. So I don't know where this is going. It seems that we're not going to get any immediate expansion. We may be in the middle of a filibuster right now, Deion, but let's just get our personal thoughts on record. Where do you stand on the idea of March Madness expanding to more teams?
Well, first off, I want to congratulate the NCAA on running like a normal 9 to 5, where we have a lot of meetings where we don't actually meet about what the meeting was for. So we end up having to schedule another meeting. And all of it could have been an email, most likely. So I want to congratulate the NCAA on that. Where I'm at with expansion in the NCAA tournament, it ain't broke, don't fix it, but also who cares? Like it's gonna wind up getting to this best 64 teams, which is what you want, right? So if they add like four more teams, who cares? I don't think it's a big deal to have more basketball, but I also understand that if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality.
Yeah, I said this in a Bleacher Report stream before the weekend, but I just don't get all that riled up about this. Now, I understand why college basketball fans do feel passionate about it. If it were up to me, simple decision, you can have one or the other. I would keep it at 68. In fact, I'd probably go back to 64. I think that's the right number. However, do I think the magic of March Madness is going to be ruined by adding more teams? Not at all. Like the special part about all things March, even before the tournament, is watching teams play with desperation, knowing there's an expiration date for their careers. That's the whole beauty of this. You're playing for your lives. And that's going to happen with all teams on the bubble leading up to March, no matter what number you set it at. If you set it at 30 teams, the teams that are around the bubble of 30 are going to play with that desperation. If you set it at 100 teams, the teams around 100 are going to play with that desperation. I hear the argument from people that say you should be a team of a certain caliber in order to even be in the tournament, but I think I just disagree with it. Like, obviously, I would rather watch good teams in March, but To be honest, if we're basing it off of caliber, I think there's already 20 too many teams in March. Like the bubble's been weak for a bunch of years going right now. So you can't really make that argument to me and have me see the vision for it. If anything, the only argument I buy, what I would like the least about March Madness expansion would be that it really does dilute the regular season. Like if you think about high major conference races at this point, if the SEC is getting 13 teams in the tournament every year, it really doesn't matter how they perform in the conference, right?
I mean, that is the argument that we're dealing with the college football playoff, right? Where it's like we went from the ability of like every game meaning something to you kind of have this notion of like not every game matters anymore. Um, I do get that point. If it's like who cares about conference play because everybody's going to make the tournament anyway, that does kind of diminish the regular season, which, if I'm being completely honest, I think I kind of enjoy the regular season more than March Madness sometimes. Like March Madness is a fun 72 to 96-hour window. And then it's just the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight and the Final Four, which is great basketball. Don't get me wrong. I like watching basketball all day, meaningful basketball all day. I love like the 9 a.m. Big Ten game, and then you have the 7 o'clock like WCC game on a Saturday. Like I love that stuff. So I don't want to take away from what that means either. But at the same time, like I already think with 68 teams, that's diminished a little bit already.
Yeah, that's my thing is we're already like kind of there with
Yeah.
expansion, right? It's already happened. So doing it more, I don't think is going to really dilute anything more. And look, the sad reality is that this is just where it's going to go. We can complain about it, we can cry about it all we want. The sport's going to expand at some point, but in the meantime, I do applaud the selection committee for working less than any other organization on earth. How do they not discuss this at the meeting, Dion?
Well, they had the meeting to schedule the next meeting. We do that all the time in the corporate world. It's we'll talk about it next week. All right, it's next week. Yeah, you know what? Let's put another one on the calendar for the following week, and then eventually an email will come out. Hey, we're expanding to 72.
I love it. Is this how you got your promotion, by the way? Setting
Most
meetings to have more
likely.
meetings?
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I mean, not that anybody from my job's going. Actually, that's not true. Did I tell you guys my staff found this channel?
No.
They were looking for videos on, and this is way off topic. I'm sorry to all the listeners, but this is funny. So my staff were looking for videos on the players that their teams just drafted, and they found our channel, all the draft videos we did.
Oh
And I
my
just got a bunch of
goodness.
messages like, "Yo, what is this?"
Oh my, what did you say? You're just like, yeah.
I was like, "Subscribe to the channel."
I love it. That's incredible. I want to give a shout out to the Hoops forum that I am in. I'm a subscriber to umhoops.com, Dylan Burkhart's Michigan basketball site. And it's a fun community over there. If you're a Michigan fan, you should join it. Or if you're a Michigan State burner fan looking to get more troops to infiltrate and try and prey on our downfall, you can also join that. I think there's like 4 of you already in there. I digress. This was something someone came up with in the comment section as a prompt that we spurred a great debate of Hoops users this week with that I thought would be fun to do on the channel. So I am flatly stealing someone else's original idea here. Shout out to the Hoops forums for coming up with it. But I want to take Torvik's projected top 10 teams for next season. There's 10 of them. And I want to rank them in terms of how likely they are to fall out of the top 10 by the end of the season. So this is not just like, I don't think it should just be in reverse order necessarily. I think it's much more about like who has the biggest gap between ceiling and floor, or biggest teams with risk or doubt or reasons that the season might go awry. So to remind people, we did a Torvik video earlier this week, but Torvik's top 10 for next year is Houston, Duke, Michigan, Purdue, Florida, BYU, Illinois, St. John's, UCLA, and UConn. We now
Okay.
need to rank those 10 in terms of how likely they are to be outside the top 10 when the season ends. When do you want to start?
St. John's. They will be. That's my. Wait, are we starting from the bottom or all the way at the top?
Number one would be the most likely to fall out of the top 10.
I think that personally, I think that's St. John's.
So St. John's is volatile, I agree. The only other one I think would be in contention for me to be more likely than them to fall out would be UCLA. Because I do think there's a world UCLA just isn't a top 10 team at all.
I will say, like, now that we say it out loud, it's going to be hard for St. John's to fall out of the top 10 in the Big East, right? Like, it makes a little bit more sense that UCLA, with the strength of schedule of the Big Ten, would fall out of it.
Totally agree. And that is a really good point towards St. John's and UConn both remaining on this list longer.
Yeah.
To that point, I mean, Illinois is in the top 10, Dion. Isn't Illinois extremely likely to be outside of the top 10 by the end of the year? I don't have them as a top 10 team.
I'm surprised they're already in the top 10. So,
So why don't should we say Illinois is most likely to fall out, UCLA is second most likely?
yeah,
And
I
then
think
now it gets into tougher conversations because now we're left with Houston, Duke, Michigan, Purdue, Florida, BYU, St. John's, and UConn.
I I think I think I'm going to say a team you're not going to agree with. This is where we're going to start to differ. I think it's Florida.
Okay, if we were going to go one of those type teams, I actually would make the argument it might be BYU.
Okay, but okay, so I would argue the Big 12 is like weak enough to where they win it.
The bottom of the Big 12 is really bad. The top is really, really good. Arizona, Iowa State, Houston, Kansas, all in the top five.
Right.
But the bottom half is horrible. So they should, you're right, BYU probably should get a lot of wins against the bottom. The bottom of the SEC will still be strong. What do you like? Just talk me through what's the vision for Florida falling out? Like Xavier Lee just doesn't hit, probably.
I feel like they're running it back, but expecting Boogie Flan to play a role that I don't think he could fit into in terms of like the defense that Elijah Martin and Will Richard brought to the table, unless he's going to play the Walter Clayton role, which I think that's a whole lot of scoring for him to have. And then Xavier Lee, again, I just don't think they have Walter Clayton on the roster. And when you look at the way Florida played last year, yeah, they had the three guards that were really good. They were really deep, but when push came to shove, it was Walter Clayton against the world.
Okay, and to that point, thinking backwards a year, Florida is kind of this year's like UConn or
Hmm.
Purdue, where it's like, well, we've been on top of the sport. We're going to be good against new faces, but who cares? Both of those teams were outside the top 10 all season last year. So I'm fine with Florida. Let's put Florida as the third team in the top 10 most likely to fall out. Um, at four, you mentioned St. John's. I think they're in the mix, even though the Big East is easy. I do think BYU's volatile. And this is where I would also start to put Michigan in.
So this is the Monday episode. Obviously, like everybody knows, we're recording on Friday. It's hard for me not to believe in Michigan after the Ade Mara video. It's too quick of a turnaround. My brain can't compute Michigan not just being the best team in the country.
I mean, they're not going to be the best team in the country, but I hear you. They look good. I think the pitch for Michigan bottoming out is a mix of encore, like the shooting isn't there, but second, this team can't stay happy. Like if Mara's really good, Merez blows up and blows up the locker room. If Merez is really good, Mara blows up the locker room. Cadeau's a wild card. I don't trust any individual person in the locker room at Michigan.
So it's they won't end the season in the top 10, right? Or is it they fall out the top 10 at any point?
End the season.
So I think Michigan is the most likely to fall out of the top 10 in the first 3 weeks. I think the start of this season is going to be rough for Michigan. I think they figure it out towards the end, though.
Not all that different than last year. I mean, they weren't bad, but Michigan was clunky early, found it in the early conference, lost it at the end of conference play. Everyone wrote them off, said they hated each other, and then made a Sweet 16 run and won the Big Ten tournament. So, all right, okay, I hear that. To me, that group of three has to be the next three, though. I think it needs to be BYU, St. John's, and Michigan in some order, unless like Houston, Duke, and Purdue are gonna be top tens, barring something crazy. I think UConn is two. So how do you want to order, I guess, St. John's, BYU, Michigan here?
I think BYU is probably next up because, like you mentioned, Iowa State, Kansas, Texas Tech, Houston, like the list goes on from the Big 12. Like they're gonna lose some games. They also have a pretty tough non-con too. Like they're not ducking any smoke in the non-conference play.
Yeah, they could just lose. They could be really good and lose a lot of games. So
Yeah.
let's put BYU four. Did you put St. John's more likely to fall out than Michigan? I think I go Michigan then St. John's with how big the Big East is or how easy it
I
is.
think so too, because I think it could not work for St. John's, and they finished second in the conference.
I agree. All right, so we're through our top six now, and we have the four teams left that I mentioned: Houston, Duke, Purdue, and UConn. Reminder, trying to rank them in terms of how likely they are to fall out of the top 10. I think it's UConn next.
I think talent-wise, it's UConn next, but I mean, who are they going to lose to though? That's the thing. Is like I don't see Duke and UConn have the easiest schedules, maybe of the top 10.
Non-conference is tough for both. A conference, you're right. But I don't know. I guess this is how I would approach this. Purdue and UConn are basing their teams off of cores that were not top 10 teams last year.
Mhm.
So, like, we're asking people who were on a non-top 10 team last year to be something they weren't last year. That's not a guarantee. So, I guess those would probably be my next two off the board. Even though I think Purdue is damn near can't miss, I think I'd put Houston and Duke ahead of them, unless you want to make the argument that like the Big 12's too loaded and Houston could get got or something.
I mean, if we're the only thing is like so UConn and Duke could lose early, but then they'll win late and work their way back into the top 10. Houston wins early, but could lose late and work their way out of the top 10 because of how difficult the Big 12 is. That would be my only argument.
I think we're kind of splitting hairs, to be honest, between these four. So it probably doesn't matter to overthink it this much, but I don't know. I think I would go. I mean, Duke might be number one, like the last team, right? They're gonna win the ACC and be awesome.
Yeah, Duke's number one for sure. I think UConn, if I'm being honest, is probably well, actually Purdue. I think Purdue's head and shoulders better than the rest of the Big Ten for as good as the Big
That's
Ten is.
where I'm at too. So I kind of so what do we do? Put Houston four just because the Big 12 is really good?
Yeah, I think the top three are locks to win their conference.
All right, Houston. Then I guess I'm gonna go UConn, then Purdue, then Duke.
Yeah,
So this did play out, like I said, differently than just our rankings. In order, the most likely top 10 teams to fall out, from most likely to least likely: Illinois, UCLA, Florida, BYU, Michigan, St. John's, Houston, UConn, Purdue, Duke. I think I feel okay with that.
I like that. I like that.
For topic three, we're going to do the same exercise, but now we're going to take every team outside of the top 10 and put them most likely to rise into the top 10 by the end of the season. So this is all strictly about hitting your ceiling, how high your ceiling is, and how likely your ceiling is. It doesn't matter how low your floor is here. These are just what teams outside the top 10 we just named per Bart Torvik's preseason top 10 are most likely to crack the top 10 at the end of the season in the final AP poll. Reminder, if you're just listening to this video and not the other video, first off, go watch the other video on the channel. Second off, the top 10 teams already that we can't use for this exercise are Houston, Duke, Michigan, Purdue, Florida, BYU, Illinois, St. John's, UCLA, and UConn. There's two teams screaming at me right away, Deion: Louisville and Kentucky.
I was gonna say Louisville, Arizona, Kentucky, I think are the big three.
Would you put those in the exact order you just said? Because I think I'd put Kentucky ahead of Arizona, probably.
Yeah, I think I would go Kentucky, Arizona, Louisville in that order, to be honest.
Now I want to fight for Louisville.
Yeah, Arizona, I think might be the best team in the grouping. Arizona, I think Arizona's gonna be really good. Koa Pete, by the way, another
Yeah,
quiet one in Switzerland, easily one of the best players on the court.
I do love Koa. I do love Koa. They're just so damn young, but I don't know that it matters with Koa. Um, all right, let's go. I'll give you, you know what? Let's go Arizona one. Let's go. You want a Kentucky ahead of Louisville?
I'm okay with Louisville too. I
Let's go
personally,
Arizona one, Louisville two, Kentucky three. But those three are all pretty much equals to me.
I
I
think
think they are top 10 teams.
Kentucky's floor is way higher, but when we throw the floor away, I think the ceilings of the other two is higher.
And if it were me, they would all be in the top 10. I would have, I think UCLA, Illinois, and probably St. John's out of the top 10 for Arizona, Louisville, and Kentucky. So, all right, there we have it. Now it's going to get interesting. I'm going to just throw a bunch of nominees at you, and then you help steer me here. I think there's an argument that Arkansas could do it with a high ceiling. There's an argument that Darren Peterson and Kansas could get there. I think you're banking on a couple just great coaches, Nate Oates, Tom Izzo, Bruce Pearl, with Todd Pettiford pairing as guys that could crack it. We've seen the formula for Gonzaga to just dominate the WCC and get there. Texas Tech is 28th per Torvik preseason, but a preseason top 10 team, according to a lot of outlets, and even a Tennessee with Rick Barnes, who's consistently built top 10 teams the last couple of years. That's all of my instant reactions, but I could be missing someone else you have your eye on too. Where do you want to go next?
We're talking just ceiling. I got my eye on one team, not one team, but one team you didn't mention, USC.
Really?
Just ceiling. Arenas, Rodney Rice, Chad Baker Mazara.
I get, but okay, so it is ceiling, but like if you're more likely to hit your floor than your ceiling, that still matters, right? Because it's not all that likely USC hits their ceiling to me.
Agreed, but I think of that grouping, I think they might have the highest ceiling though. They just have the lowest floor as well.
Sure, I guess that makes sense. We can
Like
put them
they
on the
have,
list. I don't think I want to put them fourth on the list.
I think they like have like remnants of what Louisville's doing too. Like they sneaky have one of the better backcourts also in the
Too
country.
many guards that won't like each other, I agree. But
Yeah, that's the problem. They're all probably going to hate each other, and Gilbert's going to be involved too. And if Gilbert's around something, that's probably not. It's probably not going to end well.
yeah.
Um,
But let's put them on the list. I just don't want them fourth. Let's put them closer to the bottom of this list.
Kansas, if we're in order, I think Kansas is fourth. Darren Peterson is an alpha, and he's got dudes around him a little bit too.
We can put Kansas four. I'll dispute the dudes, but I'm fine with putting just Bill Self and a superstar at four. All right, past that, I think I would go Auburn next, just because Pettiford's like all American good, and Bruce Pearl's always been top 10 lately, right?
Yeah, I like that. I think the SEC is still really good, but it fell off a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay, Arizona, Louisville, Kentucky, Kansas, Auburn are five most likely non-top 10 teams to be in the top 10 when the season ends. Now we got to start stretching for some teams that we don't necessarily believe are actually top 10 caliber. I'm good with putting USC on the list. I think some of those others, like Arkansas and Alabama, probably belong here just based off their coaches and the style of play.
I like Arkansas more than Bama.
Let's put Arkansas six. Would you put
Mm,
like an Iowa State Otzelberger anywhere here?
I was gonna say I think Iowa State seven. What about Texas Tech
Texas Tech should be here.
and Oregon?
Would you rather Oregon or USC?
Oregon.
Shell stab biddle.
Yeah, that it just someone's gonna get into a fight at USC.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And Elijah
Um,
is probably gonna just be focused on the NBA the last 3 months too.
I'm going to say something drastic. You can shoot me down if you want. Torvik has this team 18th in the country preseason. Are we sure, given the state of the ACC, that North Carolina should not be in this conversation?
I gotta see it. I
Okay.
gotta see it. I think I gotta see it. I like Vsar a lot. Caleb Wilson seems to be coming into his own too, but they have a lot of guys returning from a team that was bad too.
I would kind of like the argument for like a third ACC team, though, right?
Yeah.
Like Duke and Louisville, who's the third that is likely to emerge just because the ACC stinks, but maybe there isn't one. I don't know.
You know what? Hold on. NC State.
Top 10?
I mean, if we a third ACC team, are we sure they're worse than North Carolina?
No, we're not. We're not. All
I
right,
think
so I'll let you pick. We got two spots left. My nominations are North Carolina, NC State. Oh, who else was I missing here? Oregon, USC. I want to put Gonzaga in there. And I'm going to do a shout out to my good friend Carter Elliott. I'm going to put Creighton in there.
what Blake Harper.
Well, he keeps screaming about Creighton, and I know you're down on the Big East, so they could win a lot of games.
I don't think the committee's going to have three Big East or ACC teams in the top 10 though.
That's fair.
I think so. I think I would go Oregon Gonzaga. I think the committee's gonna heavy Big Ten, Big 12, SEC in the top 10, and then Gonzaga could just dominate the WCC.
Wait, I also do need to clarify one thing. What committee are we talking? Because there is not a top 10 committee.
AP poll. I keep thinking of the college football playoff. That's tough. That's tough.
Well,
But the AP,
I'm just picturing the committee that can't even vote on expansion trying to vote on like who's in the top 10 this week, you
I
know?
want to be on the committee when they make that though, because I think I just created
Yeah, I think you did too.
it.
Honestly, let's just create more fake committees. All right. So, non-top 10 teams ranked in terms of how likely they are to finish the season in the top 10 per Dion and I. Arizona 1, Louisville 2, Kentucky 3, Kansas 4, Auburn 5, Arkansas 6, Iowa State 7, Texas Tech 8, Oregon 9, Gonzaga 10. I feel pretty good about that. One big thing presented by NBA 2K Lab and LabCorp. Dion, what do you have?
One big thing, rest. Been a long few weeks for the kid. This is the first weekend where I'm just chilling in the house playing video games for 3 days. So very excited.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how excited are you? That's one of the best feelings ever when you're just like mentally committed to 3 days of doing nothing. That's fun.
I love it. I love doing nothing. That's my favorite thing in the world to do.
That is exciting. All right. My one big thing. I'm afraid to listen to the Justin Bieber album. There, I said it. I'm afraid. It came out and it's all over my timeline. Like, Biebs, you got to see it. He did it again. I'm afraid. Based on what I've seen on Instagram, I'm afraid to listen to the Bieber album.
Bieber dropped an album?
Yeah, he dropped an album last night and it's
Is
called
he,
Swag.
is he rapping? I love when Bieber raps.
I don't think so, but I don't know. But Dion, I'm afraid. Like I genuinely am scared to listen to it.
Bieber terrifies me because everything he does is so like polarizing and negative, but he's also like with everything that he's been given in life, just a much better individual than I think I am. Because if I had his money at 13, I just think I'd be a much worse person than he is.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be dead if I had his life by this point. All right, that's it. That's the show. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for listening.